Good afternoon, good day, good morning, depending on where you are. I'm Robin Locke, and I get insights from the elders, beings of pure consciousness, infinite awareness. And we just did our first live event in 2023 a couple of weeks ago. I'm real excited to say in Greensboro, North Carolina. And I'm getting ready to, I've been working on actually the next event, which isn't even on the website yet. And the website is advancedenergetics.org, but it's not there yet. But it will be soon. We're going to be hosting an event in Sedona, Arizona on on April 6th, 7th, and 8th. And I'm so excited about it. And I hope that you might consider, if you learn a little bit more here, joining us if you're looking for an adventure. So we're going to be doing a series of events, and I'll have two others with me. Christy does hypnotherapy, and Sarah is a Qigong practitioner and healer and an energy intuitive. And it's so exciting to form these friendships and collaborations and to move all of this forward, because what we bring to the table is the elders' insights. And it's that 360-degree view of life, that life without the filtering that's done by the mind. Because it's the mind that often gets us out of that happy place. It gets us into a more negative space, a space that could be happy, because there's so much to be grateful for these days, so much to give gratitude for. And quite honestly, the mind will focus on the most inobscure and meaningless, trivial details that are critical and judgmental, and take what could be a happier day and move it down a notch or two, or maybe even move someone into a state of depression. And so recognize that everything that you look upon, everything that you think about is a choice. And when something feels bad to ponder upon too long, then don't. Shift into something that makes you feel happy and more engaged and grateful to be in this earth experience, because it is really a magical experience when you look at the marvels of what exists around us, of those things that we take for granted so often. I mean, when you look at the body flow and what your body does and how it performs, if you had to stop and think about making sure that your heart would beat, and making sure that your blood would flow, and making sure that you could take one step after the other and not fall or trip or do some serious misstep, you would be doing and organizing and coordinating all of your bodily efforts and all of your bodily functions all day long and all night long. And you wouldn't be able to sleep, because you have to continue to breathe while you sleep. You have to continue to pump your blood, and your heart has to pump and circulate everything that is flowing in your body. And if any of that stops for any period of time, then you may not be around the next day. And so recognize how magnificent your body is, even if there are aches and pains, how magnificent it is in all that it performs and all that it does and all that it allows you to do in your day-to-day dealings. So what I'd love to ask after having said all that, what I'd love to ask is for you to consider recommending a location where there might be those who would be receptive to receive just a little bit more. And we have been talking about and did speak about in Greensboro hidden addictions, self healing, and ultimately finding your purpose. And so I want to just discuss a little bit what was given there, not in the detail that was given there, but to just give you an idea that, we all have those addictions that sometimes we don't even acknowledge to ourselves. And it could be as simple or as complex as perfectionism or shopping or judgment, because there is an addictive aspect to all of those things. And then it could be as complex as drug addiction and nicotine addiction. It could be those things that you recognize as being an addiction, or those things that you don't even acknowledge to yourself that are addictive in nature. And the reason you want to get about those hidden addictions is because if you move to self-heal, if you look to remove those negative energy aspects within your body and you move to self-heal, but you haven't done anything about those addictions, then how do you really self-heal when you haven't gotten about those things that might be a little bit more significant than the ones you're trying to self-heal? And ultimately, they all lead you back to your purpose, because the elders have come, because there are those who have been incarnating here for quite a time, and they say more time, and haven't recalled or remembered why they came into this physical form, why they came to have the life that they have, and maybe others. And it was to experience something. So your purpose isn't a thing, it's energy. And that energy is the means of completing the earth experience, because a spiritual essence doesn't have the ability to feel as we do physically. There was a choice made to encapsulate the spiritual being into what we know as our soul in order to have this life experience. And so if we wanted to understand something, emotional energy is the best way to understand it. And so if you imagine that you want to understand this one thing, but this other thing, its opposing element, is necessary and needed to also be felt, because if you wanted to know how good something was, well, you have to know how bad it might be as well to understand its converse energy, so that you know the full expanse of that which you sought to know. And so isn't it amazing when you consider that life is full of that opportunity to understand? But if we push away those things that don't feel good, if we push away those experiences that felt bad, if we just try to get to the other side of it, but not really acknowledge or feel those things, then that energy becomes trapped and stored within, which are the beginnings of disease and illness. And so recognize that those seeds of negativity, when left unaddressed over time, can actually germinate and grow, because perhaps the more balanced energy within is trying to become synchronistic and in alignment with something that is not in alignment. And then you have the growing of a disease. And so while you're healthy and not in a negative space or not in pain, then isn't it time to remove what need not remain in your physical vessel, in your body form, so that as you live this life, your life doesn't germinate or grow those things that are unpreferred, and have it turn into disease and illness. And so the purpose of all of that is so that at the end of the day, you can get about doing your purpose. And so recognize that that soul wanted to understand an energy, and they wanted to understand what it was to be in this space. And this is the perfect space, because in this space, you can understand more readily what is preferred and what is not preferred. And you always want to move toward that which you prefer, right? It makes you feel better. So that's what this is all about. And so I would encourage you to consider how some of these elements would, when incorporated into your life, change the way you experience life. Awaken, the book behind me, and The Greater Purpose are the two most recent book offerings that we've introduced. And Awaken is all about removing negative energy. And The Greater Purpose is the 3-book trilogy that is all about discovering why you are here and what this life is to be. So, my request today, if you're not seeing this today, if you're seeing it tomorrow or next week or whenever you do see this, if you feel like this resonates for you and you'd like to have something brought in a vicinity close to where you are, let us know that. Reach out to info@advancedenergetics.org and let us know. So that's my update today. It's really multifold. It's that we had this wonderful event in Greensboro and that we've got another one coming up in April. And soon you'll be able to check it out on advancedenergetics.org to read about it and see what what will be coming in coming months. And then you'll not only get to hear what we have to share, but also those that will be joining us in that event and in that space. So I thank you for the opportunity that you've granted by listening here today. And I hope that you'll visit us again and reach out if you have questions or comments at info@advancedenergetics.org. Thank you. Have a great day or evening and life.